have any one of my delightful openings that I usually have, or my silly openings, it's kind of more of a video where it's just something I need to get off my chest and everything. I tried, calling my sister about this. She unfortunately had to work, and I was like, okay, maybe we could talk tomorrow, but even so, it was still something I just kind of wanted to talk about. I'll just, I guess, start by saying this, is that in one of my classes, we're basically split into two teams, and each team is processing a different mock crime scene, and then we're going to be having mock courtroom testimony based on that. My team ended up processing a scene every Tuesday and Thursday since the beginning of February, and we didn't get processing done until about 2 weeks ago, and each one of us has our own specialty. So there's a bloodstain specialist, there's an impression specialist, and like a few others, and there's also fingerprint examinations and comparison, which is what I'm doing. And yeah, we didn't get finished until, actually, I don't think we got finished until like, last week or the week before, something like that. Maybe it was last week or something like that, but we didn't. No, it was probably the week before. I don't remember, honestly, but, and no, I'm not tired, if that's what anyone was thinking, but, sorry. So yeah, we didn't get finished processing the crime scene at all, and then after that, each one of us has a different analysis regarding our specialty. So I basically had like a week and a half, 2 weeks to take specific items of evidence and basically develop and lift fingerprints and then compare them. But that takes time. I mean, just to develop and lift like 13 prints, it took quite a few hours over the course of 3 or 4 different class periods, and comparing them takes even longer. And we're basically doing this in conjunction with some law students. We're going to be the experts in a mock courtroom trial, and they're going to be, defense, prosecution, and whatnot. I mean, we're forensic students, they're law students, it kind of makes sense, but we just have so much information to send to them, and there has been so much work to do in a short amount of time. It's kind of difficult when you're not someone who's taken the class, but it's just so much work that you have to do. And I get that, plenty of forensic scientists have to do this as well, but at the same point, like, there are plenty of us who have multiple other classes to worry about, and even jobs. I mean, I have plenty of other credit hours. I'm doing 30 hours of work a week and 10 hours a week at the Seward County Sheriff's, and it was just a lot of work. And normally I don't really have much of a problem with this. I'm very logical. I manage to balance everything out because that's just how I've always done it, and I especially don't get emotional. But we were supposed to have all our information in last Friday, but most of us weren't even done with our analysis and comparisons and whatnot. I was not done, not even close. I'd barely started the comparisons at that point. And then to find out last minute, last night, that we had to do a presentation today that we were supposed to send for the lawyers, which we were for the law students, which we were going to use for courtroom testimony, which starts next week. It starts next Tuesday. And I had 2 classes today. One is my chemistry class in the morning, and then I have this class in the afternoon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I don't even know. I could feel it starting to affect me. Like, normally, even under stressful situations, I manage to calm down and think things through, but for some reason, I was just overwhelmed by this. And I started to physically react. Even while I was sitting in class waiting to give my presentation, even after I gave my presentation, I was physically feeling this. My heart rate wasn't super fast, but even sitting down, it was reaching about 120, and normally at resting it's between 75 and 80. I've looked at my heartbeat enough times to know that, oddly enough, but my breathing was very slightly irregular. I was shaking. I was practically trembling. I did get some chills briefly, but that did not last long. I didn't have a panic attack. I didn't. I know what a panic attack is. I know what the symptoms are. I have someone very close to me who has experienced a panic attack, and they described it to me, and while some of the symptoms that I had do fit, others don't. So it wasn't a panic attack, but it felt like it was going to become one if it got any worse. And again, I'm not normally a very stressful individual. I'm not. I'm hardly emotional. Like, I'm not in tune with my emotions. I'm really not, believe it or not. But it was, even when I was presenting. Normally, when I present, I manage okay. But today, I was stuttering. I was not acting like, granted, I don't like giving presentations, but I was stuttering so much. I was not saying all the information I wanted to. My mind was all jumbled and I couldn't think straight. Like, normally I do decent in presentations, but I just had so much trouble with this. I mean, and not to mention, I'm not the only one who's having some trouble with this too. There are plenty of other people who are taking forever, and they need time to finish this stuff, even though court starts next week basically. But our professor has been giving us kind of a hard time, and all of us are feeling it, and we're not exactly happy about it. We're not. But stress doesn't normally get to me, but it kind of is at this moment. I still have so much to do. I mean, I managed to get a little bit done, and, my professor, at least at my presentation, was excellent, so that brought it down a little bit, but it was very difficult for me today. I mean, I spent the hour before class almost like panicking inwardly, and I could feel something was off, and even during class it just got slowly worse. I mean, it's gotten a little better now at this point, but I'm still kind of feeling it. And I was struggling not to show this at all. I didn't want anyone else to know that I was feeling this. I kept it in to the best of my ability, and I know it's not exactly it's really not what you're supposed to do, but I did it anyways. Even now I can kind of feel my voice breaking. I'm struggling not to shed a tear right now, because it's almost silly to be shedding a tear over it. It's not, this isn't, this is not what I should be doing. I should be working on it some more and doing what I can to finish, but I need to calm down right now. I need to calm myself. And I'm probably going to end up writing or drawing for a little while to help calm myself down before I can start working on it again. But because even now, I'm trembling slightly. I mean, I can feel it in my hand a little as I'm holding my phone. And although I've been holding it for like 10.5 minutes, so that could be part of it, but I can feel myself slightly trembling, and I just need to calm down. And you know, I do have a boyfriend. I do have a best friend. I surely could have talked to them about this, but given what's happening and given, you know, their personalities and whatnot, I just don't want to talk to either of them at the moment. I really don't. I just kind of, I mean, maybe I want to talk to my sister. I don't even want to talk to my mom right now, not about this. But I just don't want to talk to anyone in particular. It's just, I don't want to talk to anyone. It's just something I need to get off my chest. It's almost scary, and it's extremely stressful. I haven't exactly experienced this before, as to my knowledge. So yeah, it's just something I wanted to get off my chest is all. So for anyone who watches this all the way through, kudos to you. But you know, thank you for watching and for listening, I guess. But that's kind of all I wanted to say right now.